Once again, dull grey and leaden skies and an increasing breeze as well, which is only going to bring rain into the Sherwood Forest area. I'm hoping to look for the eggs of a treetop loving butterfly, but I'm not climbing that oak behind me. That is an oak that I've always referred to as the mushroom oak on behalf of how that tree's canopy has grown over the years. Unfortunately, it's one of many oaks in the Sherwood Forest area which have lost huge limbs or even come down totally. But it has provided the opportunity for me to look for the eggs of the purple hairstreak butterfly without leaving the ground. Looking for the eggs of purple hairstreaks. It's one of those jobs that can be done throughout the winter months and is worth doing. They are not as difficult to find as you may well think. The key, as with everything, is patience. Now, many of you won't bother doing this sometimes, and generally it is far easier to wait until June and July and look for the butterflies flitting around the tops of these oaks. But this is one of those activities, as I've mentioned, that you can do to pass the winter months. And the eggs are actually quite easy to see. Purple hairstreak eggs are almost a greyish white, and they're laid in between buds, right, either at the end of the stems, but they can be pretty much anywhere, but usually within clusters of buds on the end. And the females prefer growth like this, short, stubby growth. It allows them to walk amongst the foliage to find the right place to site their egg, and that egg is often deep into clusters of buds like that. The southern side of trees is favoured, and you want buds of a good size. Sometimes they can be placed elsewhere, but it's just a case of looking deep into the clusters of these buds for that tiny white hairstreak egg. Well, I'm met with success very quickly actually, and I've just, as I'm about to start and film this, I can see another one, but we'll have a look at this one, because this one is well placed, quite typically, but nicely in the open. And there you can see it's about 0.9 to a mil in width. These are beautifully sculptured, and I'll put a photo in here to show you just how nice these are, but these are absolutely super little things. And that's what you're looking for. Not as obscure as you might think. I suppose a lot of people are put off by something that's just a smidgen under a millimetre in size, stuck somewhere on an oak tree. But these really are easier to find than what you may well believe. I'll show you this other one that was spotted. Now then, this will give you an idea of actually how obvious purple hairstreak eggs are to see. I'll tell you that it's pretty much in the centre of the photograph. And if you remember how it was tucked up, that egg that we've just seen, this one is in exactly the same situation. Now I know a number of people will already be shouting, I can see it, I can see it. And if you can't see it, it's there. Now you can see the tiny egg that's tucked in at the base of that middle bud. So if I let go, you can still see it. They are obvious. Obviously, experience helps, but the best way to gain experience doing this kind of thing during the coming weeks and months is to just get out there and have a look. Now I am going to remove this one. I wouldn't normally, but all of the eggs on here are doomed unless I take them off and we either rear them at home or fix them to a similar situation on another living tree. So we'll see if we can find any more. Here's a lovely little find. It's fair made my day actually. Nothing rare. We have another purple hairstreak egg which you may well be able to make out at the base of that bud, but it's what's left of that bud that's made my day. You may well just be able to make out the elytra of an overwintering 7-spot ladybird which has tucked itself away in here quite beautifully. Just look at that. Protected from all sides by the worst of the weather. I love things like this. I'm easily pleased. But it's nice to find a third purple hairstreak egg at the base of that bud, which is housing the 7-spot ladybird. It's a shame that such a limb has come off the old mushroom oak. But that's the state that a lot of these ancients are in now, and I still remain concerned about haloing, or the practice of haloing. I don't think it's a good thing, not in terms of longevity of the oaks. It certainly helps them to put a lot of new growth on, but then it makes the trees top heavy. There's one just up 20 yards away from where I'm stood up this path now that came down over winter last year. That one will be next. There's a limb come off that, and the problem is with these old oaks is that they're hollow from top to bottom, and that hollowness continues underground. The roots are virtually non-existent on these old sort of stag oaks, as they sometimes call them. But I hope it's many years yet before that one goes, but unfortunately I don't think it will be. I found 3 eggs. I'm quite happy I found 3 eggs, and I'll come back and have another look when I've got another 10-20 minutes to spare, because they're all doomed, and so they need relocating to other more vigorous and younger trees. It's just a shame that this kind of thing occurs, but it's provided the opportunity, the easy opportunity to get to the treetops and to see the treetops, even if I didn't have to leave the ground.